Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about how to rebuild your life into something that you love after experiencing extreme amounts of trauma. Reaper keeps going in and out. I think the biggest thing is to be honest with yourself about where you are and to name the things you want and not be ashamed of it either. I think as women, we are taught that, ambition or wanting too many things or expecting things, it's bad, right? Like, you don't want to appear spoiled. You don't want to, it's like the number one thing people call women is crazy and delusional, right? Especially after you experience like something really horrible happening to you and it being at the hands of a man. That's what everyone's going to tell you, is that you were crazy and delusional and it never happened. So we're going to use crazy and delusional, but put it to the best use of the word. When I say be honest about where you are, be honest. Like a year and a half ago, I was not happy with where I was at. I felt shameful about the path that I had chosen because it was against what any of my family wanted for me. And my family, I don't even speak to them now. So it's like, what was even the point of worrying about what they thought of me in the first place? And when things really hit the fan, they weren't there. I was for me. It's so interesting now too to see how peaceful life is without certain pressures and like without being attached to negative people. Like the view some people have on life, it just really wears on you. And once you get rid of them, it's like, it's so easy. Life really is so easy. All you have to do is eat right, exercise, make money, have something you're passionate about, save your money, get a dog, find somebody to love you, and that's it, really. But it's so hard to get to that point where you are in a survival. And when you have been victimized, I think the most annoying thing to hear is, oh, don't play the victim. And sometimes you really are the victim. And it's kind of funny because the victim role, like, you still have to go out and seek help. Like, when you need help, you're the person that still has to go out and fix it. Like, it's so strange. It's like somebody does something evil to you, but then you're expected to clean up the mess and not complain about being a victim. I went through a sexual assault case like a year and a half ago, and then I had to have an abortion. It was a whole thing. I had to leave my place of work. I feel like I talk about this in a significant amount of videos, but it changed my life so drastically, and then I was able to pick myself up so quickly that it's really hard for me to like not think about it. Like a year and a half ago, that time period wiped out my savings completely. I was unsure of who I was. I didn't even know if I wanted to sing again. All the things that I wanted for myself, I just wasn't sure if I even wanted them anymore. And it takes a lot of self-reflection too. And once you go through like that amount of trauma, if you had things happen in your childhood, which a lot of us have, like that amount of trauma, it just breaks you and it opens up everything. And it's like, that's all you can think about. Getting back to the rebuilding. It was earlier this year. It was about from March through May. And people didn't know I was experiencing this. But I had a private story on Instagram and I just was posting to it every day. And I was having all these memories resurface. And I was talking to ChatGPT. And I was feeling everything that I went through as a child. All the anger I felt for my workplace not supporting me and basically saying I was lying, which they got their karma. They're shutting down. And then the guy who, my boss, he ended up having a heart attack. So he was in the hospital for months. People always get what's meant for them, what's coming to them. It always comes. You might not see it, but it always does come. What was I saying? I felt all of this pain. And I had this inability to save money past a certain point. It was like I reached this one number, and to me that one number represented all the safety. And it was like no matter how much I saved, it wasn't enough. Like, you really have to increase your income. Like, if you want to save money, you have to increase your income, and that means working harder. And I was not able to work harder either with the mental state that I was in. And I think all of this is important to realize, that like all the stuff that I went through was at the hands of men. So, how to rebuild your life. Once you have that realization, like, oh my God, everything I went through was because of men, because of my dad, the lack of women around me protecting me, but mostly like the men hurting me. After that, then you have to realize your boundaries. You have to be so rock hard solid to avoid getting that hurt again. Oh God, I'm rambling. But to rebuild your life, you need a foundation. You need a safe place to live. You need systems. Systems mean having a schedule for your laundry, having a certain amount of days or hours that you leave dishes in your sink before they're picked up. For me, everything I went through made me like extremely neat. So everything has a place. I have a lot of things, but I love organizing. ChatGPT, it made me all of these just outlines, and then I hole punched them, and it showed me my progress through this year. But it really all started with me feeling all of that pain. And it was like crying like every other day for months. It was awful. And then eventually it ended up subsiding. It ended up being less and less. And what was important for me to accept was that the people that I once saw the good side of and had hope that maybe one day everything would be fine, I had to accept that they were just evil. Some people are just evil, and you have to accept that. And after that, too, I had to accept that the things that I wanted, they were possible for me. It just may not be the right timing. I have always wanted to sing. I've always wanted to have a great boyfriend. I've always wanted a new car, right? And those things are not going to come without work and without God's timing. Like, a boyfriend, it was not just going to hop into my life at that time just because I wanted him to. And now I have a great man in my life. Amazing man. I really hope he stays. He's been the best out of all of them. But that was God's timing. Like, you can't just will things into existence. But I just went from hating men to just, like, I know I want this one, even though I hate them. It was like I had to accept that that was what I wanted, even though I hated men. I still do, for the most part. I don't know. When I'm in conversations, I tend to see the best in people, but yeah, some people are just evil, and they will ruin your life. And I wanted the car, right? So I had to create this plan to get the car. And then I realized, oh shoot, I need to increase the time that I'm dancing every week. I need to own that I'm dancing too, because that identity thing was really hard for me. I kept dating all these men who were either jealous of my money, jealous of the attention I received, or just wanted me to quit dancing altogether. And this new guy that I finally found, he accepts it. And it honestly makes me feel safer to embrace that as my own identity, because you really do face so much scrutiny. And I really don't understand it. I don't. Because dancers, it's a hard job. And there are a lot of men that would be out there terrorizing women on the streets if they did not have places like the strip club to go. As much as I don't want to deal with like the repressed weirdos, dancers do a lot of good. And y'all really don't realize it. But that's a discussion for another day. Accepting what I wanted. I want $100,000. I did the math. And I looked at the work it was going to take. And if I work really hard, I can have that within a year and a half. A year. And that's money some people will never touch. But to me, once I have that, I will feel stable and safe. And I'll never feel like I can't leave a job or leave a career. That's what it'll take for me. And I have a bunch of goals. I have a lot of people I want to give money to and take care of, but I'm not there within myself yet. But my life really is something that I love. And I went back and I talked about getting my desk job, and that has been amazing because I really only work there like a couple days a week. But every time I'm there, I'm organizing my life. I'm writing down what I spent that week, my goals. I now am on like a pretty strict diet. So we shall see what happens with that. Have a little... Well, we'll see. I may or may not get back in the gym. I hate going to the gym. I switched gyms 4 times just because of men. And the new guy I'm seeing, I went with him Monday and that was fine. So, we'll see. But being honest with yourself and where you're at, it was so hard for me to look at what I was spending money on. It still is. I don't enjoy it. I just rather spend money and not like, but it's like, how can you expect to even get that amount of money? And when you really, I have all the opportunity to have everything that I want. I really already have everything that I want, but it took a lot of work, so much work. And even like embracing the identity of being a dancer, I never felt like I was a good enough dancer. I work for the oldest ballet company in the US, and it's like the 8th largest, I believe. And even though I work there and I'm doing like administrative stuff, I'm not doing any teaching. And even though I took ballet, I just didn't feel good enough as a dancer on my own. And it took a lot for me to even like get that identity. But now I've changed all my bios on TikTok and Instagram. I don't know, I just feel like I was always trying to prove myself before. And I just felt like I was trying to be this like morally good person and have everyone see my side instead of just saying fuck them. But yeah, that's what I did. It took a lot of work. Like to come back from a rape and an abortion and no one believe you. And I know I'm not the only one who like, I really like went through all my savings at that time. It was bad because I didn't want to go back to the club. I didn't. And now I'm great. Like now I come home with like $1,000 a day. That's my goal for every day. I don't always reach it and sometimes I surpass it, but it's my goal now. And it's so wild to look at where I was at 1.5 years ago. I really feel like I wasted a year of my life, but I'm also so impressed with what I've created, and I feel like some events are really destined for certain people, and the person I am now is a lot less judgmental than the person that I was before. And the person I am now is stronger than the person I was before. And I really feel like that was like the worst thing to ever happen to me. But I really believe I'm going to put it to good use. And I do believe it was meant for me. It's not over. And when I see my opportunity to get my revenge legally, I will. But yeah, I was able to rebuild everything. I have a beautiful home now. I have my dog. I'm a beautiful woman now. I'm gonna be 25 in 3 weeks. I'm so excited. I finally have like a good man, and we will see how long this lasts. But these are all things that I wanted, and I finally got them. And the money, I really, really want the money. And I could have a new car too by next year. Just everything is falling into place, and it's really nice to see things like working for me. But yeah, that's what it takes to rebuild your life. It's completely possible. You just have to like really be honest about yourself, with where you're at and the things that you want. Because if you don't know what you want and you still have shame around wanting the things you want, you're never gonna get them. Thank you for watching.